Hello, and welcome back to the Psych Knights YouTube channel. And today, we will be talking about the mind. I'm sure you're thinking, well of course, this is psychology. However, quite literally, there is more to the mind and our thought process than meets the eye. The same as psychology is not just about biology and sociology and not just the mind itself is far more than just a concept or some untangible thing. There are many cases of one simple thought shifting a person's entire well-being and health, syndromes where the brain creates an illusion of safety in stressful situations, and many methods have been created to control this apparent superpower we humans have. Through this, elements of the mind and simple concepts that we cannot actually hold in our hands transform into things that influence us physically. A lot of these things come from our perception, usually an animal survival instinct buried deep within us that can both help and hinder us depending on the situation. These instincts we have are hidden behind natural explanations we give for them because it is easy to stop there than to explore further. There are many pieces of this puzzle that affect even college students. Imagine your entire experience with college, or if it doesn't apply to you, your experience with changing into a new phase of your life where you had to make huge adjustments. You found yourself entering a whole new world, living a new life you didn't live only a week before, whether it be college itself, the major you're now studying, the new job you've taken, or whatever else it may be. Chances are, during one of these changes, you felt in over your head, whether it be because others are seemingly adjusting much better or faster than you did, others seem much farther ahead of you or far more cut out for the new experience you've taken on. Or perhaps you believe you've just barely made it, straight by into whatever you're in now. You've just gotten lucky and haven't slipped up yet, or so it seems. If you have felt any of these in times of great change, you have felt imposter syndrome. During crucial times of change like this, we are often conscious of ourselves, extremely conscious, worrying about our state in comparison to others rather than simply focusing on ourselves and our successes, or simply the astounding fact you've made it into such a place that has stepped the bar up so high in the first place. From this, imposter syndrome grows. This is extremely relevant in college, as it is one of life's biggest adjustments, where the bar is set much higher, and even more so at an aviation school, such as the home of the Psych Knights. In most cases, the brain is the only thing doing this to you. Perhaps you overheard a classmate talking about how passionate or invested he or she is in the major you're studying, far more than it appears you are. As a result, doubt forms in the brain. Someone suffering from imposter syndrome begins to think everyone around them knows more than they do, and it only grows worse the longer the thoughts are held inside. As you can see the human thought process, the mind can get rather intense, shifting our entire outlook on ourselves as a person and life itself without even letting us know. It's rather cruel, actually. So now you know the reasons for this syndrome to occur. But why does it? Why does it happen at the root? Well, the answer is rather complicated. Is it our brain trying to keep us safe? Is it our brain trying to motivate us to do more to hypothetically catch up? Well, both of these feelings are healthy to have, but they also both contribute to imposter syndrome. However, one of the few conceived causes is that outside influence blows these feelings far out of proportion. This can include preconceived notions about the person created by those that surround them. These notions include comments on intelligence levels, superiority, or the establishment that they are an introvert or an extrovert. For example, oh, he's a quiet one, or you're better than all of them. These can originate from family, friends, co-workers, or anyone in between. When we realize perhaps that these facts are not always the case, the feelings that result from this form into imposter syndrome. Now the big question here is, how can this be helped? Well, being informed is a good start. Simply watching this video opens your eyes to how your feelings and perceptions really work. You now know your brain creates illusions about those around you, and it can make everyone seem like they're out to get you, when in reality, just as you are, they have doubts about themselves as well. Some are just better at hiding it. Beyond this, remember the simple fact that to everyone, they are their own protagonist, that it is hard for anyone to completely and realistically visualize life from another person's perspective. That is just a part of our nature. And knowing that, remember, you are not alone in this, in what you feel. Also, being kind to yourself works as well. But it's basically the easy answer to this. Perhaps not the best one either. That honor goes to simply talking about your feelings. Make it clear how you feel. Imposter syndrome grows when you take notice of others' successes. Instead, take pride in your own. Look for your own. I can guarantee that they are there. As you can see, the mind is extremely powerful. It extends into the physical realm, affecting our entire persona. And that it affects everyone, even you. Yes, you. But that is still just the tip of the iceberg. It can get even more powerful. This includes placebos, an example of which is the use of fake medicine actually producing the effect of the real thing, simply because the brain believes it is real. Incredibly, this still occurs even if the patient is told it is fake. Also, the Florence Nightingale effect develops when a nurse, doctor, or caregiver develops feelings of affection for a patient, just from the act of taking care of them. This can happen even if there is little interaction or conversation between them. There's also the fact that we follow trends. The fact that we like to do what other people like to do. It's a pack mentality, finding safety within numbers. Something that still survives to this day from millions of years in the past. The same as deer do in herds and hyenas do in packs. From this, one can see the definite illusion created by the mind here. You now know how the presence of the mind affects our daily lives, but in some of the less common cases, our brains can modify how we see things to an extreme extent. The Stockholm Syndrome results from one of these rare cases. It's a condition developed by someone who has been kidnapped, where the victim develops feelings of affection toward the kidnapper, even though there may be no prior feelings or relationship between them. This happens as a way for the brain to cope with the situation when all other options have been expended. Behind the scenes, this keeps the victim safer, possibly prolonging their life. It goes far deeper than that though, as it comes from fear, or a preconceived notion that their life is being spared by their captor due to the fact they are currently alive. This leads victims to change their entire nature. They refuse contact with or help from law enforcement. They develop a belief in the humanity or good side of their captor, and they also develop a fascination with finding more about their captor. It's actually quite complicated, and the sheer trauma of being kidnapped or held hostage leads to many things for many different reasons. This syndrome, however, is the most interesting of those effects by far. So now, I hope you have a better understanding of the presence of the mind in our daily lives and in anything that we may experience. That everything we do goes far deeper than just being the way we are. It's easy to cast all these things off as simple theories, but one must remember, everything happens for a reason. It's important in psychology to always stay wondering, to push the boundaries of what may be possible in even the simplest of things in life. And that's all we have for you today. Thank you for watching the Psych Knights YouTube channel. And remember, stay positive out there, folks.